I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, February the 12th, brought to you in part by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, taking care of the most important part of your cattle business, which is you. Kansas RMC uses stem cells, not out of fetuses or anything like that. They're using your own stem cells drawn right from you the same day to help you heal bum knees, elbows, ankles, you name it. Avoid unneeded replacement surgeries and the long, painful recovery. For more information, go to kansasrmc.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards, another big sale. You know, they broke a record last Monday with 15,600 and some cattle there. It's just unbelievable kind of cattle, kind of runs they're getting at Joplin. It's the biggest stockyard in the nation according to receipts, which is what we measure it by. They're having a special cow sale coming up here next Wednesday on February the 21st. If you've got some to sell and you're looking for a good time to do it, those special cow sales at Joplin have been really good. So if you're needing to do that, get a hold of one of their reps there at Joplin Regional Stockyards for the special cow sale. And don't forget the big feeder auction they've got here today on Monday. You can view both of those sales on DVAuction.com. Another $3. We are gaining this fed cattle market in hunks now. We gained $3 here just a week or so ago, or a week before last, and now another $3 with your high quote. Now on the high end, the highest prices we had the previous week were in Kansas at $179, and then this week get $182 in the Southern Plains. That is a really, really impressive market. These packers are short. They're short of cattle. Everybody knows, the town drunk knows that we've got fewer cattle around, which is a little bit scary there whenever it gets that widely known. But the futures have been gaining big ground, and also your cash markets have been gaining so much. But you know, we're making these cattle so much bigger. We're really helping these packers get out of that problem. Of course, they've been leading us with the carrot all along, and I've even heard of some packers that are paying a premium for the bigger cattle, where in other times they would be penalizing us. But tell you what, we're making these cattle weigh 1,700 pounds a lot of times, and guys do it, and really it's helping them too, because it's easier than replacing them. These feedlot replacements are getting so high. I'm going to show you some quotes here and tell you about them here late in this report. That's unbelievable. But it's just it's a kind of a deal where we're just making cattle that much bigger. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but a typical steer, fat steer, would weigh 1,300 pounds. Well, 1,500 is not typical anymore. It's more like 16, and we're making a lot of them weighing 1,700 or more. The bad thing is, whenever you feed them that big, you know, the quality's good. That's not the bad thing. But the bad thing is, now we're not getting paid any extra for the quality level that we're taking them to. Of course, it's seasonal, but our Choice Select spread on Friday in box beef cutout values was less than $10 premium for choice. That is not much, and of course you're getting a lot more choice because we're feeding the cattle so big, and whenever you feed them that long and that hard, they're going to be grading a lot better too. But you know, we wish that we could see the big premiums, and we were seeing them late last year before the holiday demand for the top beef there, but we're not getting paid for it right now. But one reason that the board jumped so big middle of the week, and that really spurred your cash prices, and probably on fats too, but definitely on feeders and calves. But one thing that came out earlier in the week, this past week, was we saw the early cattle on feed estimates for the report that's coming up a week from Friday, and the early placement levels were like down 16%. Of course, we knew that they were going to be really light because so many of the barns were closed in January, and also didn't see much direct trade because it was so miserable and had such bitter cold there, and it was just rough all around. But not many cattle moving there, but still 16% down on placements in January. That is an eye-opener. But had a good time over the weekend. down in Orange Beach, Alabama, speaking with the Alabama Young Farmers Group. I've spoken to young farmers groups from other states and sometimes conjoined states before, but this was the largest crowd that I've ever spoken to with the Young Farmers Group, and I think they said there was almost 500 people here, and it sure looked like it. But really good seeing young people, and they're not kids, but they're in their 20s, and they seem like kids to me. But they're real excited about agriculture and in particular the cattle business. And so I thought it was really great and enjoyed seeing them. And I was hosted by my friends at Elite Livestock Sales, based in Alabama there, that sells load lots of direct cattle there. Or they sell them, they come in direct from the farm or ranch, but they auction them off there on DVAuction with their own video sales there. But it was Daryl Stokes and Jerry Etheridge and the whole gang there at Elite Livestock Sales, and they enjoyed getting to hang out with those guys too. Talk about your board for last week. February live cattle futures. Monday was down 82. Tuesday was up 327. Wednesday down 77, Thursday back up 155, and Friday up 85 cents, with February live cattle futures ending the week at 184.62. April ended the week at 186.72. Feeder cattle for March, Monday was down 205, Tuesday back up 395, Wednesday was down $1.12, Thursday back up $1.30, Friday was up 30 cents with March contracts on feeder cattle ending the week at 247.15. April ended the week at 251.77. Your grains, corn ended the week at 4.29 a bushel. March beans ended the week at 11.83 and a half, and Kansas City hard red winter wheat for March ended the week at 6.01 and a half. Talk about your fat cattle trade that I was telling you we gained so much ground. We did not do it until Friday. I mean, the packers did all they could. They hung out. They had their feet and or heels stuck in the dirt. They waited and waited. They had to have some cattle, and they waited as long as they could. And then on Friday it broke loose. And you got to give congratulations, especially you guys. They're all formula, and you're living off the trade that the few guys that sell negotiated get. You need to thank them, shake their hand, buy them a drink, buy them a steak, because they made you a lot more money this week too. But up through Thursday, we only sold 1,700 fed cattle in the 5-area feeding region. But then we saw trade break loose on Friday, and it was really in the afternoon before it really took off, so we didn't get a lot of sales because the mandatory price reporting information comes in up to 2 o'clock, and then the trade that was done after 2 o'clock we won't get until our next visit. That doesn't come out till during the day here on Monday. But we saw your fat cattle, the few that sold, the handful that sold last week up through Thursday was 175 to 179, which was strong, steady there. But then on Friday in Iowa, we saw 4,400 head sell. They sold 6,000 for the week up through 2 o'clock on Friday. Live sales in Iowa on Friday ranged from 179 to 183, and your dress sales are $5 higher, from 280 to mostly 285. Very impressive market. About Nebraska, they had sold 2,600, but they were starting to sell them right along, right in the middle of the afternoon there on Friday. So we'll get more data from them. But the only live price we saw in Nebraska confirmed was 180, but they sold them higher than that. And on a dressed basis there, 285 was everything that we saw. Kansas had only sold 900, but I'm sure they swung the gates, and that'll have a little bit to do with how long we can keep this market, or if we can keep gaining, is how many cattle sold last week, and whether your packers get kind of a shelf full of cattle and they can kind of hold back on the market. But not sure how many they got sold, but it have been a bunch on Friday. But 900 heads all we had confirmed on Friday. 182 was the price. That was $3 higher, like I mentioned earlier. Texas, only 100 head had sold, and they hadn't seen the 182 yet, only some 178, and I bet that guy's kicking himself right now. But but a much stronger fed cattle market on a cash basis. Good to see it. Good to see packers still needing to buy cattle in a negotiated manner, and good to see them gaining that much ground when they have the opportunity to do it. Box beef cutout values were lower, so packers taking it on both ends. Choice cuts, your weighted average for all of last week's sales were $1.29 lower on the weighted average than the previous week's weighted average at $294.32, and we still keep bumping that $300 and just can't maintain it at all. And your late week sales on Friday afternoon were about 30 cents lower than that weighted average at just right around $294 there. Your weighted average on all of last week's select sales, $284.60. That was down 75 cents from the previous week's weighted average. But your late week sales on Friday afternoon were about 50 cents higher than that. But just still, that choice select spread is so tiny, less than $10 there. It was actually less than $9 late in the week. So, you know, we're not getting paid for those really high quality carcasses like we'd like to. And like I said, it's seasonal. Right now, people are enjoying comfort foods, roasts and things like that so much more than treating everybody to you know, rib loins and things like that. So we're just seeing that seasonal demand, and that's the way that works. But all of that box beef trade there was based on 583 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Your slaughter for last week ended up disappointing some. They did trim some off there on Friday and didn't sell and didn't do much business on Saturday either. But 622,000 for the week last week. That was 15,000 less than the previous week and 6,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. If you guys enjoy seeing this video but you don't find it as regular as you would like to, you can text the word flash to 209 Corbett or 209-267-2488, and every morning this report or the link to it will be sitting in your text box there. So it doesn't cost anything other than just what you get charged if you still get charged for text, but most people don't get that anymore. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index from DVAuction, based on an 7 to 900 pound or 7 to 899 pound cash auction steer, based around 800 pounds, just like your CME cash feeder cattle index does. But ended the week at 244.58. That was up $5.06 a hundred compared to the previous week. So big gains there. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 242.95. Your trends in your sales last week on feeder cattle, $3 to $7 higher. Calves were more $5 to $10 higher, with spots $15 higher. Just and it was also well tested, because pretty much everybody had a big sale the previous week and then had a good sale last week, and so it was a good test of the market. It's hard to gain that much ground when you're getting a really good test there. But they did that at Fort Scott livestock market in Fort Scott, Kansas. Had 2,500 or so feeder cattle this past Saturday. Had a big sale, 4,300 at a special the previous Saturday, but a well-tested market. And you can see here from this automated market report, because they don't have a federal state market reporter in there, but your calves, and that's what they mostly sold this Saturday, were easily $10 to $15 higher. And that was pretty typical from sale barns all around. Your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day for late last week or over the weekend was Burwell Livestock Market in Burwell, Nebraska. Now sometimes they've got to come along and flex their muscle and remind us that they are one of the premium sales up there in that Sand Hills area. 5,700 head there, and you look at these best tested weights and they all sound like stick-out deals, but these are all the cattle within that weight group. There were 651 head in the 6-weight steer group, and they averaged 651 with a weighted average price on all of them of $289.13. 1,254 head of 7-weight steers averaged 747 at $264.82. Wow. 680 head of the 8-weight steers averaged 824 with a weighted average price of 249.76. That's $5 higher than your real-time index, and that's on all of them, guys, not just one sale. Look at the heifers. 1,307 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 663 at 261.18. 1,324 head of 7-weight heifers averaged 750 pounds at 238.67. And almost 500 head, 499 head of 8-weight heifers in Burwell, Nebraska averaged 827 with a weighted average price on all those heifers of 222.16. Congratulations, Burwell. We remember you, and I'm going to be heading out to Nebraska here early this week, and on Monday night here, we're going to be talking at Broken Bow, Nebraska there for Vitalix. So hope to see a lot of you guys there. Give you some individual quotes from all around. How about a market we've never talked about before? Monte Vista Livestock Auction in Monte Vista, Colorado. They sell 60 steer calves, weighed 453, bring 346. Good sale there. How about Fort Pierre Livestock Auction? Going to be in Fort Pierre on Tuesday, guys, on tomorrow. So if you guys can find out where that's at, come see me. 85 steers weighed 591 in Fort Pierre on Friday, bring 332, weighing that close to 600 pounds, guys. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere late last week or over the weekend, in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, indeed come out of Burwell Livestock Market. It was the Wade Dearmont Charolais Cross steers. Now they were NHTC and Beef Care, but these big cattle didn't even, went to a place they're not even going to continue that program. They just liked the cattle. And he was tickled because they were Charolais and they outsold all the blacks, and I think that's kind of fun too. How about 216 head of those Charolais Cross steers, weighed 813 and bring 261 1/4. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.